Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Melayna and I'm a practitioner here at the Dharma Bum Temple. Today I will be leading you through loving kindness practice. But before we get started, I kind of wanted to share a little bit kind of on the topic. So this weekend I went to a day of mindfulness at a local monastery, and after meditation practice, we all sat down and we did what they called Dharma sharing. And everyone was sharing about these incredible and amazing, transformative and emotional experiences. And I was sitting there going, well, I feel nothing. And I got sort of wrapped up in the idea that maybe I should be feeling something. Maybe I'm not doing this correctly. Maybe there was something I missed. How did I mess this up? And I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in the shoulds in our life, the things we should be doing, the things we should be, the places we should be going, and where we should be in our lives. And what we need to, and that just promotes our own suffering. And so we show kindness and grace and forgiveness to ourselves. We don't have to be perfect. We can be what we are right now. There's no, I should be this. I am what I am, and this is the present moment. And I need to accept it. So I didn't do anything wrong. I just needed to be like, this is the way I saw this particular activity. This is the way I absorbed this meditation. But the way I see is not the way anyone else sees. And I didn't do anything right or wrong. This is just what is. And it was kind of a neat little moment to have. But to talk more about loving kindness, generally what it is a spirit of unconditional friendliness towards everyone. Doesn't matter if you like them, doesn't matter if you don't like them, doesn't matter if they're a stranger, doesn't matter if they're a family member. We meet people with a spirit of kindness and friendship. That doesn't mean we have to have lunch with them every day. That doesn't mean we have to invite them into our home. That doesn't mean that we need to go out of our way. But when we're in the same space, we're in the same room, when we are walking down the street, we can maybe meet eyes with people. We can say hello to people. We can continue on about our day without judging them, judging their behavior, or judging ourselves. So is anyone new to meditation? No? Cool. Anyone at home? No? Well, thank you for joining us. So with that, I'll just give a brief description of what loving kindness meditation is. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to first send loving kindness to ourselves. That's a spirit of goodwill, unconditional friendliness. This is, of course, without condition, without judgment. We are not judging ourselves in this moment. And then we will begin to send loving kindness out. We'll start with individuals. So we'll do someone that who's benefited us, someone who we care for, someone who is perhaps we love, someone who's important in our lives. Then we will send loving kindness to a neutral person. And then after that, we will do everyone's favorite part. We will send it to a difficult person. Now, I always remind people that difficult doesn't mean your arch nemesis or the worst person in your life. This could just be someone who irritated you, someone who's annoying, someone you don't care for very much, it's a stranger who cut you off in traffic, whomever. And it's much easier to kind of start there and then to be like, okay, the absolute arch nemesis, my boss that fired me, I'm going to send them loving kindness. If you want to do that, you can, but it's definitely more accessible to do it to a much more minor offender. And then after that, we will send that loving kindness out to as many beings in as many directions as we can possibly muster. So yeah, with that, I'll go ahead and get into the meditation practice. So find yourself in a comfortable seat. Eyes can be closed or open. I will be speaking periodically throughout the meditation, and we'll go approximately 20 minutes. And yeah, well, maybe a little longer. We'll see. And then from there, who knows? So I will start with 3 imitations of the bell. I will finish with 3 imitations of the bell. Find yourself in a comfortable and relaxed posture, and bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the character of each in-breath and out-breath. Take the time to settle in to the present moment. Bring your mind to a calm state of clarity. Begin sending loving kindness to yourself. It may help to picture yourself as a child. This is difficult for you, but the important thing is to send kindness to yourself with a spirit of love, compassion, without expectation, and without judgment. Repeat the phrases, may I be safe, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease. Now, bring to mind someone who has benefited you in some way. It can be a partner, a close friend, or even a coworker. Recognize that just as you desire to be free of suffering, this person also desires to be free of suffering. Again, offer them loving kindness without expectation or without condition. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Letting this person go, bring to mind a neutral person, someone you do not know very well. This can be someone you see somewhere you go every day, someone who works at the grocery store, someone who shares the same bus stop. Again, offer them the phrases, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Now, letting this person go, bring to mind a difficult person. You may not want to choose the person who is most irritating to you right now, someone who has annoyed you or was difficult to get along with. Recognize that just as you suffer, so does this difficult person. Offer them loving kindness without expectation and without condition. Repeat the phrases, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Let this person go. And letting go of all thoughts of other individual. Spread your awareness as far as you can to all beings on this planet and maybe even others, to all beings large and small, in all 10 directions, blades of grass, bacteria, and amoebas too. Just as you wish not to suffer, all beings wish to be without suffering. Offer them the phrases. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. Bring your awareness back to the present moment, back into the space we are in. Take 3 deep breaths. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes and return to the space. Feel free to take a few moments and move around. Slowly start to move. And get up and stretch if you like. So after meditation, what I generally like to do is kind of take a moment to settle into the room and allow use the time to ask questions about meditation, Buddhist practice, or share a bit about your experience with the loving kindness meditation tonight. For those of you watching at home, feel free to type a question or comment in the chat box, and I'll be happy to respond to it for you. I'm a comment here in the chat. Says I enjoy meditating, but with this loving kindness one, I always have such a sense of peace afterwards, which is nice because it really, I think loving kindness really lends to the interconnectedness that we all share. It kind of lets us realize that no matter who we're thinking of, whether they're difficult or neutral, or the person who benefits us, or all the beings on the planet, we all desire to be without suffering. And a little bit of gentleness, a little bit of friendliness, a little bit of kindness and goodwill can go a long way in helping that happen. And thank you for your comment.
What would be the difference between sending metta to just one person after another versus just focusing on one person that is, neutral, somebody that you don't like, somebody that, you do like, versus just like, I think of this person, I'm just sending like a machine gun to just everywhere that comes up.
I'm not like 100% sure on that. For me, it's more of like an increase in difficulty.
Okay.
So it's like, you start with someone who's who it's easy to send love to, someone who's, close to you, someone you like a lot, someone, your partner, or somebody who's, giving you a gift or helped you out in some way. It's much easier to be kind to someone like that. And then we work towards someone who's very difficult, and then not very, but like someone who's difficult, someone we're irritated with, someone we don't necessarily want to send kindness to. And I think it's just kind of, there's a practice called titration, right? And we just do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and make it a little bit more difficult each time. And then as we sort of move through the practice, it becomes easier. So that difficult person will be just as easy as the person who benefits you. You're just kind of, it's almost like you're setting up the pathway, getting ready to do that. And then, of course, all beings, all encompassing. It's hard to imagine every single being in existence, mostly because we don't know all of them. Yeah, but these are strangers. These are people we don't know, or other beings we don't know. We do recognize that, Buddhism does seem to recognize that there is a lot of universe beyond just this planet. And, all beings, if you're in the condition of life, they say the cause of suffering is birth. So because you exist, you suffer. So it doesn't matter what you are, where you are, if you're, bacteria or some other entity. I lost my train of thought. But that's why we need to send suffering, send kindness out to everyone. And so when we it's just, it's practice. That's all it is. It's like, that's why Metta is a practice. That's why all of Buddhism is a practice. We practice to get better and make it easier for us, because it's easy to sit here in this room and send kindness out to people. But when we're actually interacting with them out in the world, it's definitely much more difficult. But the idea is to kind of get ourselves in the habit of doing that. We have so many destructive, compulsive behaviors in our lives. Creating positive, compulsive behavior is actually a good thing. Thank you.
When you said they suffer too about the person you're having difficulty with, I'm one of those people that I can wrap my head around like a big crisis, but when it's something small and annoying, I get very fixated on it. And I bought something online and they sent me the wrong thing and they won't give me the refund. And it's like, seriously, I don't know if it's $12 or $15 or what. But when you said they're suffering, I was like, you know what? Maybe this person needs those $12 in a substantive way, and it doesn't say that we should never get a refund, but it helped me to let go of my fixation on yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely have this moments where I get like, how could people do this to me? How dare they? But the thing is, they would probably do it to anyone. So it's not just really, it's almost like the practices, don't take it personally. It's not, sorry, I turned my hearing aids all the way up so I could hear in the back. And now my voice is blowing my head off. So just a moment here. Come on, there we go. But yeah, it's like, most people who offend you, most people who harm you, most people who piss you off, they're not trying to do that specifically. They're trying to accomplish something else, and they're just not paying attention to what you're feeling, how you're feeling. They don't really care, unfortunately, seem to care, or it's not, it's not part of their awareness. So it's important to, I think, send kindness to those people and forgive them as well, because there's definitely things that we've done in our lives that have affected others that we have no idea about. It's like this ripple effect of karma, basically. It's, things happen and other things happen. If we do one thing, we don't know what the effect of that thing is going to be, whether intentions are good or bad. It's just going to have a ripple effect that's going to send itself out throughout the world.
In those moments of difficulty, is there any mantras or reminders you like to tell yourself that those people are suffering and that you can send them kindness? Is there anything because I feel like I get wrapped up in the moment and then later I'm
Yeah. For those watching at home, the question is around, are there any mantras or sayings that can help when you're wrapped up in a moment, right? That kind of way. Okay. I don't know anything specifically. I don't know any cool Buddhist, like, Om Shanti Shanti, Om Mani Padme Om. I don't know if there's any Buddhist mantras around that. One that I always try to remember, which is something I repeat during the kindness, is just as you wish to not suffer, the other person wishes not to suffer as well. And I kind of take that around, like I've had people like on the bus, right? And somebody like, you're just walking down the aisle and you bump into somebody and they're like, hey, watch it. Or, it's like, I don't mean anything by accidentally bumping into them. I'm just heading to my seat, trying to get where I'm going. And their reaction really doesn't have much to do with me. Oh, sorry, I ran into you. But as long as I don't react to it, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't really bump into you, man. Why are you so far out in the aisle? You just kind of hold it to yourself. And, this person just didn't want to be bumped into. Maybe they're having a rough day. Maybe their nerves are shot. Maybe they got some bad news. Maybe something happened to them. I don't know. But it's better for me in that moment to just be kind, say I'm sorry, move on. And that will result in less suffering for the both of us. They might still go on with their day being happy, but as long as I don't carry that around with me, and it's not really going to make me suffer unless I have that story. It's like, man, that person on the bus yelled at me. And then I think next day, I'm like, man, that person at the bus yelled at me. And just kind of let it go and just know that that person just desired to be without suffering. And that's why they reacted that way. Or maybe they are suffering. A lot of people will inflict pain and suffering on others or act harshly towards others because they are in a lot of pain and they are suffering from something. And you have to kind of forgive them for what they do, in that moment. They're like a wounded animal. If you like, you ever see like an animal and you want to help them, they're like, hey, possum, your leg's broken, but they're going to get angry and they're going to lash out because they're scared and they're having a rough time. And if we can have compassion in those moments, it just brings more joy for everyone. I just try to remember that, we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. We all have things going on. Everyone's fighting this like silent battle in their head or dealing with something that we know nothing about. And just give them the grace and space to do that without adding more to it. So I guess that's it. Try to just remember that just as you suffer, this person is suffering, and you don't have to know what their suffering or their pain looks like. Same thing. You don't know what their happiness looks like. You just have to kind of say, okay, thank you for your opinion, but I'm going to move on with my day. And, it happens a lot. And there's a lot of suffering in the world. So people are going to act in ways that we won't necessarily like all the time. But that's not a reason we can't control what they're going to do. That's not a reason to meet them with anger or hatred. Try to meet them with friendliness and goodwill. It doesn't mean, like I said before, you don't have to have dinner with them. You don't have to buy them gifts or, house them. But you do just need to give them space and a little grace. And, if it's like, you give someone just an apology, even if you don't really feel like you mean it, it still helps a little bit. And it's what you would do for a friend. Thank you. think an important thing to remember is it kind of sort of relates to expectation and our attachment to outcome. You can't control what other people are going to do. You can only control your reaction to that. The first time I sat up here, nobody said anything. Nothing. It was, I believe the comment was, we really admired how ferociously you sat with the silence. And I came up here full of expectations, like, oh, people are going to be so curious. Everyone's just as into Buddhism as I am. They're going to be just brimming with questions. And I didn't account for the fact that, people are afraid to speak in public and they're nervous, and maybe they just came to be silent and quiet and do meditation. And it was really difficult. And I also had two friends in the audience that I had as plants who said nothing as well. I was like, guys, help me out. They're like, I don't know. And I just kind of had to let that happen and kind of let go of my attachment to what I thought I was walking into. And there's nothing wrong with sitting here in silence. I could easily do that. I've done it before. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect every time I'm up here. And I could, I don't need to be like, oh God, those people, they didn't have enough questions. They didn't come curious enough. What are they even doing here? I don't need to go through all that. I can just say, hey, we all came to sit. We all came to be. And I'm glad we're all here. And having a few people who don't speak is better than no people at all. And honestly, it's a nice, it's kind of sort of freeing. It's sort of liberating to not have expectations for how we want or anticipate people to behave. So that's kind of what I like about the practice, is that we can just be. And once we learn to be, once we learn to sit, once we learn to accept, not just sit in meditation, but just be with things as they are, it gives you so much freedom. And I've been talking about that for like weeks and weeks around here. So my feelings of liberation. But yeah, I'm just going to sit now. So enjoy. Thank you for sharing the silence with me. With that, I'll go ahead and close tonight. If you're comfortable, please bring your hands to heart center. May any merit gained from this practice today be transferred to all beings in all directions. May they be safe, may they be happy, may they be healthy, and may they live with ease. Before you all head out, our host Anna has an announcement.
Hello, everyone. I'm tonight's host, Anna. We opened the Dharma Bum Temple 18 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library, although it's actually currently closed because there's building materials in there. But if you come back another time, you can borrow books from the library and bring them back when you're done with them. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. If a few people could stay closed and latch the windows, that would be helpful. Thank you for being here. We wish you well and hope to see you all again. Thanks.
Thank you, Anna. And good night, everyone. I'll watch you at home.